And welcome back, everybody, to episode 120 of the Marvelite podcast. I am your host this week, Luke, and with me, I have Will.
What's going on, everybody?
Okay, we're kind of shifting topics here a little bit, but I do kind of want to mention that didn't Feige or somebody, one of the heads from Marvel Studios kind of recently spoke out and said that, Thor's going to be a major player moving forward after Avengers 4. So I'm almost wondering,
I remember hearing that.
Because Chris Hemsworth was so delighted by doing Thor Ragnarok, it was sort of a breath of fresh air for the franchise. That
he deserved it.
Yeah, he deserved it, and it kind of reignited his spark to play the character again. He wants to continue doing it. So I'm wondering if he's going to play a larger arc, because I think that they're going to take Thor more cosmic now in the future. So I'm assuming that he does survive the next two Avengers movies. But I just kind of wonder where they're going to take that dynamic, because they're pushing and pushing and pushing. And I guess that since we're on the topic of cosmic stuff, did you see also that Silver Surfer has been credited, apparently, by Metacritic for Infinity War?
That is a thing that we do need to discuss. I meant to actually add that. Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah.
Because we reported on that as a channel, and I didn't believe it at first until I actually clicked the video. I'm like, oh wait, we said that. I'm like,
yeah,
what the fuck?
Exactly. Yeah,
I am confused. I won't believe it until I see the movie. I honest to God won't. I'm not even taking that with a grain of salt. I honestly don't believe it, and I won't until we see the final product.
Okay, so you know what? You want to know what my theory is on that?
What's your theory, Luke?
I don't think that we're actually going to see Norrin Rad, but rather his race of people. I think that we might see him, see his race or his planet or something like that in a flashback, maybe back, because we're getting flashbacks of Thanos when he was kind of like a warlord. He kind of traveled around the cosmos, building up his schemes and things like that. In the comics, in his early adulthood, he was kind of a pirate almost. He intergalactically, he kind of went around and started building up alliances and armies, and he would pillage, and you know what I mean. And that's where he he slept with a lot of women. He had a lot of children, and we're talking biological children, not necessarily Gamora kind of children, but more children like Thane, his actual biological son.
That's actually, that would be a really smart way to get around the deal, because Fox only owns Norrin Rad, don't they? Not his alien species.
Well, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So
that's a smart way to get around it, because it's not so much Silver Surfer, but his alien race. We still have that, don't we? And
exactly.
It's shit.
And
I honestly think you can do that. It's a loophole. It's a loophole. That's actually pretty smart if they do that.
Yeah, and so that's how I can see them doing it, and honestly, I think that would be a good editorial for the channel. But obviously, we're not going to talk about that here. Anyways, yeah, I think that's really interesting, though. That if it's true, that's how I think it's going to be played out. I don't think that we're actually going to see Norrin Rad on a surfboard, surfing through space, or we're not going to see Galactus or anything like that. I mean, the Russos have stated multiple times they don't have any. Which I don't think they can legally do. They can't just bring in X-Men and Fantastic Four just yet.
They can't. And also, Kevin Feige's statements recently from the Entertainment Weekly article is that in terms of going forward, they're strictly dead set on telling these focused stories because they haven't gotten the clear yet from the higher-ups at Disney to kind of... The more he says it, the more I'm actually beginning to believe him. And it's not so much that I don't think they have a plan, or that it's never been discussed, but I think they are seriously dead set on focusing on finishing Phase 3
of the
Marvel Universe. I think they're actually dead set on finishing this phase before they even think about going through with their pitch ideas for it.
Yeah, these characters that they've been focusing on now for a decade.
Yeah,
they have to close out the arc. We have to get closure for these specific set of characters. So it really, just from a logistics standpoint, it makes sense to not focus on. Now, if you want to start planting seeds, now how cool would it be in Avengers 4, where we see maybe on on a TV screen somewhere, just in the background of a restaurant or a bar or something, we mentioned a news host talking about Latveria or something like that. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's not like they can't retcon stuff like they did with Peter Parker being in Iron Man 2, which honestly I still think it's stupid. It was stupid and kind of random, but whatever, they can do what they want. So you can just be like, oh yeah, remember that planet from like 33 and 14 seconds in Guardians of the Galaxy? Yeah, that's some significant planet from someone's backstory. That's the planet that Norrin Rad was from, or some shit like that.
Or Beta Ray Bill or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, that's Beta Ray Bill's planet. It's like, what? Yeah, it was there. They can just say it, and you can't do anything about it because they just made it canon. Like Kevin Feige is just the god of it all.
You know, like kind of wrapping up like the cosmic stuff. I really hope that if they do make another trilogy or even just another movie involving Thor, I would absolutely love to see Gore the God Butcher as the villain.
Yeah.
Dude, like, he is seriously OP, and he is one of the fucking coolest characters.
He was supposed to be in, before they decided on Hela, he was one of the contenders to be the main villain. Because they wanted to do, which I'm like, damn. Because once I read up more about, Gore the God Butcher, I'm like, this dude is, like, it makes me want to go read the books that he was in from, Thor. Because it just sounds like a really interesting, like, story and character. I'm like, this dude overcame so much.
Oh, dude, it's insane, dude. And you know, like, he almost has the same mentality that Killmonger did.
Yeah.
In certain ways, you know, it's mostly about, you know, justice for his family. And so, you know, Gore the God Butcher gets really, really angry at all of the gods, you know, because in the Marvel Universe, you know, like, basically every pantheon that's ever been told about exists. So, you know, you have your Egyptians, your Greeks, you know, like the Olympians, you have the Norse gods, you have the Buddhist deities, the Hindus, the Christian god Yeshua, he exists. So does Jesus. They all exist. Every single one of them exists.
It's like American gods. They all just kind of hang out doing their thing.
Exactly. And Gore, you know, he is betrayed by his planet, or, you know, like, the planet that he's from has a religion, and those gods are real as well. And they betray him. They betray his entire race. And he takes it personally, and he just says, you know what? All the gods suck. And he literally goes around and just starts slaying all of them.
I was about to say, like, on some Kratos shit. And that, didn't he have the, what was the sword that he has? Because that's the one that Hela was using. Or was based off of.
It's based off of it, but I think it's loosely based off of it.
Yeah, only loosely.
I don't think it's based off of it either. I just think, you know, she just kind of uses the
I think it's loosely inspired by, but I don't think it's the same exact, like, weapon.
Exactly. But, you know, just real quick, like, Gore, he watches two deities kill each other on his planet because they collide. And one of them that dies, he takes his weapon, and the weapon is he calls it the God Butcher because it is this insanely powerful sword that he can basically alter stuff with it, and he can create almost anything out of it. And so that's why you know, he is like Thor's one of his biggest foes ever. And it's such a beautiful story, dude. It's so good. Like, I highly recommend it.
There are a couple contenders in terms of Thor Ragnarok villains, which were all pretty good decisions before they settled on Hela, which I like. I liked Hela. I actually do want to see her again.